Hello, Riri. Hello, Riri. Hello, Riri. We've got a new product from Fenty Skin and Fenty Beauty, and it is the new HYDRA VIZOR HUEZ Mineral SPF and also Tinted Moisturizer in one. That was a mouthful. Basically, this is the Mineral SPF version to their original HYDRA VIZOR sunscreen, but that one was chemical. This one is mineral, so I am excited to review this one because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know my history with chemical SPFs. We do not get along. They are not a match for me. I have a sensitive type acne-prone skin, and so mineral is what is recommended for me. Finally, we have a mineral SPF, which is also a tinted SPF. There's 10 shades, and I've got 2 shades here, so I'm gonna basically review everything, talk about all the deets, give you the scoop. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's get into this video. Subscribe if you aren't already, notification bell. Let's hit it. Fenty Skin, HYDRA VIZOR HUEZ from the one and only Riri. Let's go. You guys are probably already familiar with the original HYDRA VIZOR sunscreen that had chemical SPF. I personally never even tried it. I have it, but every time I got my hands on it, I had to give it away because I know how my skin reacts to chemical SPFs, so why would I even put myself through that? But I'm excited about this one because it is a mineral SPF, like I said, and the active ingredient is zinc oxide at 15.5%, which is great. The problem with mineral SPFs, or what most people see as a problem, is that it usually leaves a white cast. So anyone who has any sort of tint to their skin, which is most of us, none of us are paper white, would have a problem with the white cast. Giving it a tint actually eliminates that problem altogether. Fenty is not the first sunscreen to come out with this technology, and I will say that my favorite tinted sunscreen is actually from the brand Alley Oop. It is $30, whereas this Fenty one is $42. A little bit pricier, but the Alley Oop one is incredible. It is a one and done product, so I am hoping that this Fenty will be similar, because I do understand that Alley Oop is probably not as easy to get as the Fenty, so hoping this will be a good alternative. All right, so we've got a refillable component here, which I should probably look at the instructions, because if you're familiar with me, you probably know that I am pretty dumb when it comes to Fenty refillable components. I don't even know how many of their lipsticks I've broken in the refillable component. Probably like at least 10. I'm not even exaggerating. It's been a nightmare. I should probably test out the 2 shades that I have here. I have shade 3, I have shade 4. Probably gonna swatch them both on my face first before filling it in. I also have other products. I'm gonna pop up the entire PR package that arrived. It was quite large, quite nice, so I'm not gonna show it on camera. Instead, I'll just pop up a little iPhone footage. And they included a few other summer essentials, which I'll also try with this HYDRA VIZOR Tinted. And by the way, while I'm opening up these packages, I should let you know that I do have plenty of videos reviewing sunscreens, mineral sunscreens, tinted sunscreens, ranking them. So I'll definitely link those videos. I'll pop them up so you can check them out, because summer is here and it is the season for sunscreens. Actually, it's always the season for sunscreens, but now that summer is here, it is especially important to protect your skin. Oh my God, this is just not coming out. And it also seems like every brand is coming out with sunscreens and with tinted versions of them. So I think it's important that we do some comparisons. Let me know. Maybe that'll be my next video. All right, so for now, let me show you the refill. So this here is shade number 3, and these shades are supposed to be flexible shades, so multiple skin tones can fit shade 3, for example. Like, I think shade 3 is probably a really good match for me right now. I have no tan, blends out quite nicely, has a little bit of a yellow undertone. And let's see shade 4. Nice pump. Shade 4 is like a little bit richer. I'm gonna try that on my forehead. I think I like shade 4 a little bit better. It's not as yellow as shade 3. It almost feels a little bit less saturated, and I think I like that a little bit better. Yeah. So shade 4 it is. This is just a little too saturated, whereas this is a lot more neutral and just a better match to my neck and my ears and everything else. All right, so now let me show you some of these skin tones that are covered, and these are the skin tones that fit all the different shades. As you can see, they have several skin tones for each of the shades. So for shade number 4, you can see that it covers a range from the model on the left to the model on the right. Same with shade 3, shade 5, shade 10, shade 1. You get the idea. Flexible shades, meaning that each number covers several shades. Also, I should probably mention, it's been a really busy week for me since I got back from LA. So much has been going on. Like, just a ton of stuff has been going on in my life. I'm working on a really cool project right now. I filmed part of it yesterday with my besties, so it does involve some people. It's really exciting. And it's one of those projects that feels very genuine to who I am and what I do. So I love that. Also this weekend, I was quite busy. My little sister, Hanifa, who you may remember from my previous videos, is in a choir, and her choir actually performed at the Lincoln Center, here in New York City. And they sounded so heavenly, so angelic. They were as good, if not better, than the adult choir that followed them, okay? And the adult choir was a professional choir, and I am just so proud. I watched her, she was so excited. So yeah, so it's been busy. It's been busy, every day we've had something, and this week is also pretty busy, so I'm just trying to keep myself hydrated, well rested, and well protected from the sun. Let's pop this baby in. Where is that package that tells me how to do it? I threw it away. Oh, and by the way, the case is sold separately. So I'm not sure if just the refill is $42 or if the case and the refill are $42. I think just the refill is $42, so keep that in mind. Though to me, I feel like this is cute enough and I'll just keep it without the case. I don't know, that's just me. This plus this, basically you just pop this thing in, insert refill. Okay, I think I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. Am I crazy? It's like not pushing all the way in. Push until it clicks. Bro, but if I push, it's gonna squirt some product out. I don't get it. I don't get this. Okay, whatever. This is not working out for me. I'm already making a mess. I'm already making a mess, you guys. Nope, I can't figure it out. Sorry. Not doing it. Okay, let's apply shade number 4. What is this little hair? Let's apply shade number 4 liberally across the face. I'm gonna use my fingers at first. Honestly, I'm applying a lot of product because you are supposed to apply this much product of sunscreen in order for it to be 30% sunscreen, as the bottle suggests. However, I'm feeling like this is giving a little grease pan, and it's not really blending out all that well, but it is kind of looking pretty. I'm not gonna lie. It does have some decent coverage, even though the coverage is light. But because the shade is so believable and the undertone is so good, it's doing a great job of evening out the skin tone. I will give it that. It definitely feels very hydrating, very creamy. It applies a little bit oily, I will say, but it doesn't feel sticky and it doesn't really feel too balmy. So it does take a minute to actually blend out, but once it does blend out, look how nice it looks. I can't complain. Usually with my sunscreens, I don't really like to apply anything else underneath outside of like my regular skincare, which I already applied hours ago. And so now I'm gonna add just a little bit more product to my forehead, which already had a little bit of product if you remember. And now I'm gonna blend everything out with a brush just to see if I can, if it's gonna leave streaks. I think the brush method is an easier method for me, or just a preferred method for me. It just feels better. Easier, and I don't have to get my hands dirty. I really like the shade, almost giving me a little bit of a sun-kissed glow. This looks like skin, and if my skin is on the good side like it is right now, this would probably be enough product for me. Again, applying all over, making sure I cover the nose, the lids, the under eye, and I gotta say, this looks really good. Really good. So there's a little bit of a radiance to it. You can see that it's not matte. It's not super duper shiny. It looks very natural on the skin, which I prefer. I would probably add just a little bit of concealer to cover up some of my dark spots, some of my small breakouts here, but for the most part, really, this is good enough for me. I like the way this looks and feels. The refill component, I don't know what's going on. I just don't seem to get it. Like, I don't understand how to get this product into the case without pushing it in and getting product all over. I don't want to do that because it's going to be messy, and I think that's the only way if you want to get it to click. So I don't think that's too intuitive, and so far that is my only criticism. The shade, I will say, is really nice. I definitely see it as flexible. I see this fitting a range of skin tones, from those that are lighter than me to those that are deeper than me. Just the undertone has to be exact, and I think this undertone is pretty good for me, as opposed to the step down, which was a little bit too yellow and a little bit too saturated. All right, so now I'm gonna see how the rest of the makeup applies over this, to see if I can get an actual full look. I'm gonna use a little bit of concealer just on some strategic areas to brighten and cover up some spots. And the concealer that I'm using is from NATASHA DENONA just because it's handy. It's the one that I have laying here. By the way, I do have my Fenty Eavesdrop right here, right next to me. And I will say the consistency of the HYDRA VIZOR HUEZ is very similar to the Eavesdrop, which by the way is one of my favorite skin tints, but it does not have SPF, but just thought I'd mention it. So this concealer that I'm using from NATASHA is very matte, and I think it'll work well with the HYDRA VIZOR because the HYDRA VIZOR has a natural finish, not super dewy. Applying the tiniest amount of concealer, just for a little bit of strategic placement, strategic concealing if you will. Blending it out with my fingers so that it looks extra natural. Looking really good so far. Looking really good so far. Another product that I got in PR from Fenty is the Invisimatte blotting powder. I don't really love this powder per se. I don't really think it does much, but I'm gonna use it anyway, just to blot some shine off of the forehead. Yeah, I don't like the finish that it gives. Almost too matte, and it's not a lasting matte. Also, it always smelled very funky to me. Not a favorite product from Fenty, but I kind of like it on my pores all of a sudden. Hold on a minute. This actually just minimized the heck out of my pores. What? Now suddenly I'm like, okay, never mind. Maybe I like this, and maybe I don't care about the scent. Is this reformulated? What's going on? This feels a lot different to me than the last time I tried it. Huh. Okay. So I only blotted down the center of my face and the center of the forehead. Everything else I left alone. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of color with the cream. You guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know how much I love this Frestyle blush. It is a cream formula, very balmy, but extremely pigmented and very easy to use. Of course, I forgot to blend out my concealer on this side. Hold on. Okay, all good. This shade and this blush is iconic. It is one of the first cream blushes that made a viral sensation. I believe it came out sometime around 2019, maybe 2020 even. But I remember I couldn't put this blush down. Just look how easily, how naturally it blends out. This is absolute perfection with the HYDRA VIZOR HUEZ Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. This definitely does go on very balmy, but it blends out so naturally and so nice. And not balmy at all, in fact. And this just reminded me of how great this blush is and that I should be using it a lot more often than I'm using it nowadays. I'm gonna add some on my lids as well. Blend that into my hairline. This color is stunning. It's just like a beautiful berry tone. Cool Berry is the name. Shade 09. I believe it's an OG shade, but I could be wrong. So pretty. So pretty. I'm gonna add some on my lips too. And last but not least, we have the Cherry Treat Lip Oil. So I'm gonna add that. Here's the face, and here's a close-up. Honestly, I will say this tinted sunscreen is quite forgiving on the skin. This has sheer but good coverage because the undertones from the two shades that I've tried feel very human-like. They feel very skin-like. So shade 4 was a really good undertone for me. You can tell that it matches my neck. I look like myself. I don't look too saturated or too yellow or too orange or too green or too pink or any of those things. It basically kind of just blends in with your skin, and because of the right undertone, it's giving the illusion of better than light coverage, if you know what I mean. Although this is said to only be light coverage. My first impression is that it does feel a little bit balmy, a little bit greasy when you first apply it on, but the greasy feeling goes away quickly. Similarly, I will say to the Frestyle Cream Blush, which is an all-time fave. I've been using it for a long time, but I've forgotten about it recently because there's been a lot of new blush releases. But doing this video reminded me that I need to be reaching for this more often. It is just the most beautiful OG blush, and I guess I will call it OG even though it's only like 4 or 5 years old, but in the makeup world, it's an OG and it needs to be revisited. It is just so stunning. But anyway, going back to the skin tint, my first impression is that this is a really nice product that I'm gonna be reaching for, and with mineral SPF, for those of us with sensitive acne-prone skin, this is a godsend. 10 shades, flexible shades at that, another godsend. So this is awesome. Fenty Skin, Fenty Beauty, Fenty Hair, I am here for this. This feels right to me. This feels like something that I will reach for. My only criticism is I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to use the refillable component without getting the product all over the place. So if you guys can just get back to me and let me know what I'm doing wrong, I'll appreciate it. Please and thank you. With that said, that is my video, that is my review, that is my final look. This is something that I would totally feel comfortable wearing outside, going to errands, to hang out with my siblings, to see my mom or my dad, to go to the store, to just do whatever, and I'll be protected from the sun. In my book, that is a win. All right, you guys, that is my video, that is my review, that is my story. Ask me all your questions down below. I will be wearing this for the rest of the night, but I'm not gonna do a wear test because generally to me, sunscreens need to be reapplied anyway, and so it wouldn't really be fair. So with that said, I am zooming on out. I am wishing you guys a farewell. I will see you in my next video. Peace out. I'm out. I love you. More videos over here. Deuces.